that have come across from another system or from new. So you're at a new school, you've not got anything in there, and you want to start using SmartSuite. First things first, it's a browser-based system, and you don't need any servers, any hardware, any particular kind of configuration on your end. You just need a device that has a connection to the internet and with a current browser. Which browser? Quite frankly, we don't care. It's entirely up to you. But having said that, if you rang me and said, "Oh, Michael, we've got this issue with this browser," my first recommendation will be, can you please try it in Chrome? And of course, you will find you will not have an issue in Chrome. I can almost guarantee that. So if you have any issues, try it in Chrome. And then you might want to turn around and either decide to just use Chrome, or you might turn around and go to your IT department and say, "Mr. IT or Mrs. IT, I want to show you something. See this program, how it runs in Chrome? Now see this program over here in XYZ browser. Can you please fix the browser so I don't have these issues?" So that's the first thing. The next thing is you will have a URL, which will be your school's name .functionalsolutions.com.au. Okay. Now you can give that URL to anyone. You can put in your school's newsletter. You can put in your school's homepage. You can put it anywhere. And when they click on it, this is the screen that's going to come up. The only difference is you can go ahead on this particular screen and you can search. Let's go cat. Okay. And there's all my material on cat. And when you scroll, it brings up the next page and the next page and the next page and so forth and so on. And you can say, "No, I'm not interested in cat. I want to do a search of the author Dahl, D-A-H-L, Dahl." So there you go. I want to do a search, and oh, there's a book on Dahl, and let's go and reserve it. So when you click on reserve, nothing will happen. And the reason why nothing will happen is because you can only search. Okay, you cannot do anything on that system. So you cannot go, "I want to have a look at the availability and see who's got it on loan," and no, you can't go and reserve. You can't do anything. You can just see information. That's it. You cannot do anything else. So to be able to do anything at all, when you bring up the screen, you can click the sign in button. Now, you can sign in based on a username and password that has been entered into the database for you for every individual user, every teacher and every student. And if you turn around and say, "Yeah, but can I put my parents on?" Absolutely. You can put whoever you want on the system. If you have decided to give them access, you just create them on the system. The other way of getting into the system is what we call single sign-on. That's a technical word for, "I'm already signed on to the network. Why can't I click the button and it just identifies who I am and sign me on?" Single sign-on. We work with any single sign-on system that's industry standard. So there's Microsoft single sign-on, there's Google single sign-on, there is what we call Microsoft Active Directory single sign-on. So as long as it's an industry standard, we can set it up for you. Now I don't have single sign-on, so that's why it's presenting that for me. So I'll put in my username and I'll put in my password. And once I'm in, guess what? I don't see just that. I see a lot more information. So once I'm logged in, I can scroll and keep scrolling and scrolling. Okay, and I see a lot more information than I had before. So there is certain information that's restricted only to teachers, or only to year 12 students, or only to year 5 students, or only to year 9 students. So when you don't sign in, you will not see any of that restricted information. Okay, but once you've signed in, based on who you are, it will bring up the information. So if I've cataloged items that are on YouTube, okay, now I'm not talking about downloading YouTube, I'm talking about cataloging an item that's on YouTube. This is the experience you'll get. We shelter out all the other information, take you straight to the YouTube video, and you can fast forward and you can fast go back. Okay, we do not download YouTube because it's illegal, but there it is. and you can be here and you can do whatever you like with that video. So I've got other TV for education videos and so forth.
The following program is classified M and is closed captioned.
So we are not going to go into the content side of it. So if I scroll up and there is a book, I can click on the book and it'll bring up the bibliography of the book. Okay. And I go friendship. What do we got on friendship? Click on that. I don't have to do a friendship search. It'll bring up all the books on friendship and I can click on that book. And then I can go, I got fiction. What have we got on fiction? So all these are links. If I click on the author's name, it'll bring up all the books on that author. That's only that one book. Now, if the author happens to be featured in Google, you'll get an automatic G. And just click that G and it'll take you to the author's website. Okay, so that's what's great about the bibliography. So all these are links. You can click on any of those links. Okay, if you want to do a search, you just do a search of cat. Okay, and there's the book on the cat, and there's my G for the author. There's my book on the cat, except this one has a new G button up here. It will give you this if the book has been reviewed by Google. And all you do is you click on it and it'll bring up the Google review, and you can go ahead and you can actually read the Google review or read the section of the book that Google has put up there. But that's all automatic. So searching gives you a lot of opportunities. And if you have the opportunity to reserve, you can click on reservations and go reserve. And as long as the book is not available, as long as the book is out on loan, you can click on the reserve. If you click on the reserve when it's available, it'll say it's available. You need to go and get off your seat and go and get it from the library. So we're not having people reserve things because they're too lazy to go and get them, and then stopping other people from having access to that book. And the book only stays available for a short place of time, and then if you don't pick it up, it'll automatically go back into the system. But you can also manage that. Okay. If the material was on loan, say how it says holding 7 of 9, so that means that there are 2 books not available. So if I go record availability, I can go and say what's on loan, and it'll tell me who's got on loan. Okay, and if I put it into the who's got it on loan field, it'll tell me Will Anderson has it on loan. Okay, and that's how you can tell who's got material out on loan. So I can look at available, I can look on loan, I can look at who's got it reserved, or I can just say, show me all the parameters of every copy. And you can scroll down there and have a look at it. Okay. And if a teacher comes along and says, we're teaching about animal husbandry, can you do me a search and give me a list of all these resources? Or they say, we're teaching about Dahl in our English class in year 9, and we're talking about his style of writing and why he wrote the way he does. Can you give me a list of all the Dahl resources you've got? Now, there's 2 ways you can do that. You can come here and you can go Dahl, okay, and that's all my Dahl books. And then what you can do is you can create a list out of all these Dahl books on here, okay, and then you can give it to them. Alternatively, you can say, let's go ahead and do an advanced search, and keyword equal to Dahl. No, I want the author equal to Dahl, and now do a search. And there's all my Dahl books. And now I'll say, give me an external link. In other words, give me a URL based on that search. And what that means is you can go and email your teacher the link, because it was copied to the clipboard. If I right click and paste that into an email or my Google Classrooms or whatever learning management stuff got, when I paste that link, it's a dirty great big link. You do not need to concern yourself with the details in it. All you need to do is say, here's a link, click on it, and this is what's going to happen. When they click on it, you can tell them it will always bring you up the latest resources and all of the resources on the search item that you've done. And that's so if you've added 3 books since 2 months ago when you created that link, they will be on here. If you've deleted 15 books because you're no longer going to be supporting that particular books, those books, they will be deleted as well. Okay. And you could have said, no, only show me the books that have their status of availability. So in that advanced search, you can drill down Play around with it. You'll be excited to know all the different drilling you can have, and then just do the search button up here to validate that the search works, and then go external link, and I'll say a URL has been created for this kind of search. And now you can just, it's in the clipboard, just right click on it anywhere and just go paste, and it will paste it for you into any system, including email. It could be in a PowerPoint presentation, it could be part of a unit of work, in a Word document, Excel, wherever. Okay, wherever you can paste the link www.google.com and someone clicks on it and it brings up the Google search engine, that's how that would work. That's what's so brilliant about that. Okay, that's all very well and do. You can play around with the search. I think you can spend many hours in all the different things you can do with search. But what we're going to do with the search is we are now going to move from search to patrons. How do I add a new patron? How do I find a patron? How do I change a patron? A patron's no longer here. How do I delete a patron? In other words, absolutely anything to do with a patron. How do I do it? Very simple. Everything that you do, you have a menu button on the top left hand side. Click on the menu button and there's all your options. So if you want to do anything with Patron, find Patron. There it is. And go into Patron Management. That's where you add patrons, delete patrons, change patrons, import patrons. You can do everything through here. But we got Patron Management, and the patron screen will come up. And it'll, if you've logged in as Lib, it'll come up with Lib. If you logged in as Jonathan, it'll come up with Jonathan's data. If you've logged in as Marianne, it'll come up with Marianne's record. But you go, I'm not interested in all of this. I just want to add a new patron. So you just go new at the bottom of the screen. New gives you a blank screen, and you can put in your barcode. But I don't have a barcode yet. I don't know what my barcode's going to be. Okay, in that case then, why don't you just put any rubbish in there? It really doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm just going to put all of that in for the time being. My first name is, say, Evan, and the surname is Joseph. So Evan Joseph, and my email address is nothing. My class grade is I'm year 8, and my homeroom is I'm also 8D. And I'm going to go save. And that's it. You've just created Evan Joseph. Except when Evan needs to log in to the system, he needs to remember this dirty great big number. Okay? Or you can create a second login for him, a second way that he can log in. So in my instance, I'm going to create something called first name dot surname. Okay, it could have been anything, but I've taken his first name, full stop, surname. Now, if I save this, Evan can log in with this great number or with this. Okay, and if you can say, oh, but I want to also send him overdue notices. So put his email address in here. So EVAN, Evan J at school.c.gov.au. Put in their email address in there and go save. Now what's happened is Evan can log in with this dirty great big number up the top, or with this, or with this. He can use any of that. However, what's happened is, in the meantime, while we've been playing around, the office has come and said, oh, Miss Librarian or Mr. Librarian, this is the credential for Evan. His administration number is 345678. That's his administration number. So you can make that his barcode if you want. We don't care. Even if he had loans under that big number there, it will automatically, when you hit save, it will automatically transfer across. So now Evan can log in with 345678 or with Evan Joseph or with the email address. But when he logs in, it's going to ask him for a password. So everybody needs to have a password. We don't care what the password is. We can generate it for you, for everyone on the first instance. Or you can say, no, I'm going to give him a password. My recommendation, make it a policy of keeping the password simple. So just go change password. And his new password is password, Password, and confirm it, PASSWORD, and as long as both of them are the same, go change password. Evan now has a password, so when he puts in that number or puts in his email address and you ask him for a password, if he put in password, he'll be in. But you can say, no, I'm just going to make sure that that password is the first time use only. So what you can say, change password on next login. So if you tick that there, it says yes. When Evan logs in, it'll ask him for the password, which is password. And they'll say, oh, hi, Evan, you're the first time user or you've just logged in. So give yourself a password and create your own password. Has to be a minimum of 5 characters. And he can go and create whatever password he likes, and that's it. But of course, people being people, they'll forget it. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Let me exit out of here and let me go back to my search screen. Okay, and you're working away, you're circulating, searching, you're cataloging, and Evan comes to you and say, Mrs. Library staff, I forgot my password, so I can't log in. You say, don't worry, Evan, I'll fix it for you. So all you do is you go into your menu, you go into your Patron, because anything to do with Patron goes to Patron Management. You click on Patron Management and you go find, and I'm going to find Evan. Okay, and if there's only one Evan, it'll come up, and then you just go change password again, put in the new password, which is password, validate the password, which is password, click save, and then you go change password on next login, and off it goes again, and that's it. Okay, and if you go, Evan, can I just take a photograph of you because I want you to appear on our system? So if you photographed Evan with your iPad or Android pad or laptop or whatever, then you just go upload his photograph, and you go to wherever all the photos are, and you just click on the photo and you go open, and all of a sudden that photograph will be Evan's photograph. Okay, Evan tells you, we're leaving, my parents are moving to Perth and I will no longer be at school. Call up Evan, just go delete, and it says, are you sure you want to delete? You go, yep, I do, and that's it. And that's how you delete a patron. So I've shown you how to find a patron, create a new patron, change a patron's barcode or whatever, and then delete a patron. Okay, and how to upload his photograph. Now, from there, let us go to cataloging. Because I know how to add, change, and delete a patron record, I want to show you how to add, change, and delete a catalog record. So you go to menu, you go to catalog, and you go to catalog. Now, I'm going to grab an ISBN number, which is this one, okay? And I'm going to copy that ISBN number, and let me just move along this screen. And so when I go into catalog, I come in here and I want to add a new record. The way of adding a record, changing a record, deleting a record is exactly the same as patron. So if you learned how to do a patron, you will have no problems doing the catalog, because it's find, so it's new, so that's a new record. Delete, that's how you delete a record. And if you want to manually type in a new record, okay, you can just go fill in that details, fill in the copy information, fill in the subject information if there's additional. So you just fill in the information that's appropriate, and that's all you do. However, if you got an ISBN number, why don't you zap in the ISBN number? Click in the ISBN number and then go to this antenna button. When you click on that, it will go to SCIS, and if it exists on SCIS, it'll bring the record down, and voila, there it is. It's brought the record down from SCIS, and it's instant. Okay, if there's any additional, there are additional titles. If there's subjects, there's the subjects, there's the series, there's the authors, the illustrators, the local subjects, the notes, and so forth. However, what's missing is the barcode. It'll bring everything down from SCIS, and all you do is you go into copy, and then in here, you'll type in the barcode. You'll put in the call number if you want, or you'll put in the location that it's being stored in. You'll put in the sub-location if there is one. Okay, it's the English department. The loan type, and it's a fortnightly loan. Renewal, it's a fortnightly loan. And then you just go save, and media is blank. So if there's any information that it must have and you don't give it, it'll tell you. So all you do is just go, let's start again. Basic. Is the media here? Ah, there it is. So that is actually a book. So we can go and say a book. Now let's go save. Save. Yep. So you've created another copy of that book. And that's all there is to it. So if you have a look at the copy information, there's the barcode, okay, the subjects, everything's there. Now, if this book has food in it and it's damaged and you want to delete it, you just go delete title and you type in the word yes to delete and confirm it, that'll delete it. However, if you had 20 copies but you only wanted to delete one copy, you do not hit delete title when you want to delete a copy. If you want to delete a specific copy, click on copy, then in the copy area, expand that, which gives you more information about the item, and then you just go delete, and this will delete just the copy. Okay, if you want to delete the title, you can click on delete title and then put in yes. And if you happen to have 10 copies or 50 copies because it was a textbook, if you go yes, it will delete everything including the 54 copies that you had there. Okay, so that's how cataloging works, exactly the same as Patron data. If you decided that, you know what, I want a SKIS catalog, well, that's even easier. Let's say for argument's sake, you've got 100 books that you need to catalog. So what I would do is I'd organize the books into the type of books they are. As an example, I organize them into fiction books, there's 30 of them, non-fiction, there's 10 of them, picture book, there's 18 of them, teacher's reference, there's 14 of them. So organize it into the different groupings, then click on menu, click on catalog, but this time we're not going to do one by one, we're going to go to global catalog. Click on global catalog, and then what you do is you put in all the holding information. So you put in where the location is, where the sublocation is, what the loan period, renewal period. Okay, you put all that in, and then you'll go ISBN number. That's my ISBN number. And then you'll go, and this is my barcode. And then you go the next ISBN number, and this is my barcode. Then the next ISBN number, and this is my barcode. Then the next ISBN number, and this is my barcode. And you just don't worry about waiting for it. You just go ahead and do whatever you need to do, and the system will do whatever it needs to do. If you go and put in an ISBN number, which I've made up, doesn't exist, and I put in a barcode, okay, and it doesn't exist on SKIS, it'll give you a message to tell you that this item does not exist. And that's what it is. So you just pull that book out and go, I'll do it later. And all these books are done because you put all that parameter in, it's in. But should you want to visit any of these books, you just click on the title and it will open up a new tab, bring up the catalog record, take you straight to that record, okay, and then you just go to the last copy and it'll put that in, okay, and if you're finished, you just exit out of there and it'll take you back to here. Then you can go to the next copy and the next title and next title and next title. But if you've finished all of that, okay, what you could have done is, if I click this up arrow and if I go down to default spine labels, and you've chosen, like I've said, my default spine label is 12603, but you could have chosen any one of the others, and we have a whole host of others. So if you work with the spine label we've already formatted and you've chosen any of them, once you've cataloged the books, all you do is you just go print, and guess what? It'll print out all your spine labels for you in the order that you put them in. And you go, yes, but this is a brand new spine label sheet that I've used half of them. So down here you say leave 17 blanks, okay, and go regenerate. It'll leave the 17, okay. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, that's the 18th spine label. You can just reuse your labels over and over again, okay, and then all you do is you just go print. So it's very, very easy for you to be able to run everything from the global catalog. When you exit out there, it takes you back to global catalog. Very fast, super efficient, and you don't have to pay extra for anything. No extra for modules or features or functions or whatever. Okay, so we've gone into search, we've gone into add a new record, we've gone into add a new patron. Circulation, how does that work? Easy. Click on the menu, click on circulation, and then go circulation. And by default, it'll always be ready for you to circulate. If you want to just return books, just click on return and just go zap, zap, zap in there, all your barcodes, and it will just return them. But if you want to do loans, so you enter the patron's barcode, then the item, next patron barcode, item, next patron barcode, item, next patron barcode, item, you next patron's barcode, and he goes, I haven't got my library card. Or what's your name, Smith? You can just type in S and it'll bring up anyone with S. But I could have just typed in Smith. Okay, now Jenny Scott has come up, and now I can just enter the barcode of the book I want to borrow to her. If there's any reason why she can't borrow, it'll tell you, and you can override that reason. It'll check it out from that person, check it into this person, and you're up and running. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so if I go Smith, it'll bring up all my Smiths, and I go John Smith. Okay, or if I go S, and I can go Jack Scott. Okay, and all their loans will come up. If that book was overdue, it'll be in red. If the book, he claimed he returned it, it'll be in a brownish color. If there's no issues with the books, it'll just be normal, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue. Okay? And if he said, but I returned Matthew Flinder's cat, so you just put a tick in there and go claim return, and then you can put in a comment as to what he said. But if he lost it, you can just go click on lost, and then you can say, he said he lost it, I accept his word, and that's it. So that's how circulation works. Okay? The last thing we're going to do very quickly is I've added patrons, I've added catalog records, I've circulated books. I want to do overdues. That's the easiest part. Just click on the menu, click on reports, and go to reports, and then go overdue reports or loan reports. I'll go overdue reports, and overdue by classification or homeroom by media type. So I'll just do classification and then go open, and I want to get all the overdues for my year 12s. Okay, and if I go generate, that'll bring up, okay, Mike Smith has this book and this book, and that's it. If there were any others, it would show me all the other year 12s that had overdues, and that's it. And I can just print that, but I can email it by just putting in Jack's, putting a message here, Jack, please return these books, and put his email address in here, and I can just go send now. And that's all there is to it. If you'd like to know more detailed function, you can go into our advanced search, into our advanced training modules, and you can ask for a one-on-one training or ask us to set up a YouTube live training session that covers global changes or report writing or whatever. However, before you do that, I'd like you to go to YouTube. Bring up YouTube on your screen, and in the YouTube search area, type in SmartSuite, okay, or SmartSuite-Library. When you go and type in SmartSuite-Library, there's all the videos that we have on different aspects of SmartSuite. Go in there, I'd encourage you to have a look. If you're a TV for Education user, then why not type in TV for, and if you're not a TV for Education user, go to YouTube, type in TV for Education and have a look. And if you've been looking at or used Enhance or in particular ClickView, have a look at what we do. We'll blow you away with our incredible functionality features, and also with our content and the size of the content. Imagine your teachers being able to request digital content to cover absolutely any topic from any angle by just making a request and telling us what exactly it is you're after, and we'll give it to you. So that's TV for Education for you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present SmartSuite.